Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bunk and Pick podcast. Pick here with Bunk. I'm going to kick it to Bunk quickly to introduce himself, and we're probably going to get some sort of awful accent. Accent.
No, I do have a new accent. I'm going to do g'day, mate.
Oh,
I'm going
boy.
down under for it today, baby.
Yowzers.
Yeah, baby. We're going down under. And I'm excited because the Yankees won last night, FYI. Okay, then I'll kick it back.
I'm well aware the Yankees won.
Big Yankee
I'm well
guy.
aware how these series went this weekend. I get that Tampa's not good this year.
Yeah, they suck, but go ahead.
It's all right. Payrolls count. Anyways, we do have some guests with us. A regular guest coming back here with B-Clot, formerly known as Medium G. Maybe we'll go back to Medium G.
G.
Gary, I don't like B-Clot. We're going back to Medium G for you.
Let's go to Medium G. It's been settled.
You are now Medium G. And we have a really awesome guest, much better than Medium G here. We're talking with Rick Marlin today. He is a pro scout for the MLB, and we're really happy to have him join us. So thank you so much, Rick, for that.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
Excited
absolutely.
to be on.
Really, really cool. So we'll kick it off with just kind of talking, I guess, MLB really, and any questions you have for it. Like I said, I'm a chef, so if you have any food questions, you shoot them right at me. I'll get them answered. Or
Awesome.
and then here's a fun little fact. Medium G over there went to culinary school with me, and we'll have to get the old thumb. Maybe get a thumb story for Rick before we leave here, because that was a classic move there.
I didn't know you were going there. I wasn't thinking that direction, but we could tell that story.
I'm taking you. We'll see.
I have a question right off the top for our guest.
Yeah, absolutely.
This would be right down Bunk's alley. What do you hate the most about the Yankees?
Oh, my gosh, man.
It's funny you say that because so my dad and my grandfather are actually big Yankees fans, so I follow them quite a bit.
Nice.
And so I don't have any hate towards the Yankees, unfortunately.
I love it.
Oh no!
Oh no!
That was a little bit of a backfire there, but
Yeah, Bunk is the biggest Yankees fan. It's pretty annoying.
I'll say this: it's probably when the Yankees aren't playing well, and I know I'm getting a text from my dad at some point that night, like I can't stand so and so in the bullpen or something like that. So that's probably the best answer.
I sent a text to Bunk over the weekend about their Dodgers series and how they were not looking so good. They go out west. So I was hoping you'd say you hate them, and I could segue into
Nope.
20 minutes.
We're back.
Well, Rick, I'll tell you this. I get those text messages too, but that's when I love the Yankees, not hate them. When Bunk over here sending me that angry text message.
Absolutely. Fires you up a little bit.
As a Rays fan, man, it's been a tough year so far. Classic Tampa move. So I'm sure like some of the bigger names will be gone here in about a month, but we'll see how it goes. But hey, I guess some general questions we definitely had that came up on the podcast, and I think that kind of sparked us into contacting you. So thank you so much for taking that. But really, the question me and Bunk had is we've watched movies, we've been in baseball, we've kind of seen the scouting process, especially with Medium G over there with Gary going through it. And back then, man, they used to like look into like your girlfriend and your ass. And now it's like all analytics. How much do you feel like you do like more of feel over analytics when you're out looking?
Yeah, it's they definitely ask us to use our baseball acumen and our experience. We have a big group that is specialized in doing the analytics. So I try to go to the ballpark and just watch and evaluate. And you try to get a feel for the players, but there's only so much you can do. Like we're not, so kind of take a step back. I work on the pro side. So we have a group that does amateur work with all the high school and college guys. And then I'm on the pro side where I'm watching other organizations, minor leaguers on a weekly basis. So we can't talk to them or communicate with them. So it's, you're just really evaluating the baseball tools on the field and trying to project what, if you think they're going to be a major league player down the road.
That's really cool.
That's interesting. So you said there's an analytics like kind of team, and then there's just sort of a more of an old fashioned just feel and watch how they move on the field kind of team. I didn't know it worked like that. So it's actually sectioned off. Yeah.
Well, every organization does it differently,
Sure.
So we have guys that specialize more on the analytics and numbers side. And then you have your scouts that have, and all of our scouts have had different different experiences within the game, but we kind of bring more of the traditional baseball lens, I guess you could say, and then there's a human performance group that they pretty much focus on how the body works and if there's any red flags with how people are moving, and then you just kind of piece all of those different things together and try to make the best decision you can.
That's so interesting to me. When I was going through the scouting process, which at like Penn State, which it wasn't like a huge, overwhelming scouting thing, but I was always curious because I never got to see behind the scenes on what goes on. Why was I chosen at this point? All the conversations, and did somebody like lay their neck on the line and say, yeah, we think he can, or we think he can't? So it's really interesting to kind of see your perspective on kind of how it goes. So a guy, say you have a player that's looking pretty good and he's kind of like on the fence sort of, what is like the conversation? Is it usually like you have to say, I'm standing up for this guy, I think he can do it? Another guy says, I don't think he can, and then somebody up higher than you sort of just makes a decision based on the information?
Yeah, I think there's so many different things to go into it. So probably what happened with you, Gary, somebody was sitting at one of our games and they saw a guy with arm strength and liked some of the things that you did on the mound, and they wrote you up as a guy who they could see providing value to the organization. And then I'm sure at some point somebody else came in and so there's cross checkers in every organization where the area guys kind of the tip of the spear, seeing the guys writing recommendations, and then I'm sure somebody else kind of came in and saw you and said, yeah, you know what, I agree with our area guy. And then it kind of goes from there. Like, everybody's different. Like, are you a senior in college where you don't really have any other options, or do you have leverage still being a junior?
Yeah, really cool. I mean, that is really cool to see, because I mean, me and Bunk saw it from the outside, right? Kind of watching Gary go through that process and seeing that. And I mean, I'm sure we had the same questions he did. He's going to have him probably a little more nervous about those questions because it's him and not us. But that is really cool to see that insight there for sure. I wonder, like, how much harder is it recruiting, I guess, within the minors over maybe that high school or college kid?
Yeah, it's just a completely different process. It's like when you're recruiting amateur players, you're making a decision on who you want to pick, within the talent pool that's out there. Now, obviously, if the team ahead of you takes the guy you want, you have to go down your list. But kind of what I do in our pro group, what our group tries to do is just identify who the players are in the Yankees for an example, or the Phillies or whoever. Who are their players? Who are their youngest guys that we think eventually could be big leaguers? So when there is a trade that happens down the road, we have information on those guys, and that could be the player to be named later in a bigger deal. So that's kind of what I'm doing on a daily basis
really
right
cool.
now.
That's really cool.
That's interesting. So it's a known quantity across the whole kind of playing field here. Everybody knows what everybody's got, and you're sort of picking and feeling what you feel like is best for your organization at that time, sort of kind of thing.
Exactly. And like, there's always a huge crop of young players coming in every year, whether it be from the draft or be from the international side. A lot of the Latin guys are coming up from the Dominican League to stateside. And so we're starting to see them for the first time and trying to figure out who we think would be valuable to ask for in a trade at some point.
That's really cool. Thank you so much for that insight. Not everybody gets to see that. There's so much that goes into one player. And we all understand it here because we've seen that process, but I don't think like everybody that's listening really comprehends how much film or how many times like one person is watched before a decision is made. It's crazy to think.
When you're playing, Nick, you don't even see it then. Like, it's all sort of in the shot. Like, you'll see like when you're a pitcher, so you're seeing the jugs gun or something. So you're like, oh, somebody here from somewhere. Yeah. But you don't really see what's going on. So it's not like from the outside looking in, it's like a shrouded thing. It's like a thing of mystery across every level almost. And I think it's like that on purpose.
Yeah, Nick, I think you bring up a good point too with the amount of video that's available these days. Like even like when me and Gary were playing, the amount of video and data that's available at the high school, college, and pro levels. There's a lot of people that can kind of dive in without even being in the ballpark. So it's like guys are constantly being evaluated, 24/7.
Yeah. So, Derek, so do you like on the pro level? So do you have like certain teams that I mean, there's a lot of teams out there. So, I mean, do you like have an area or like a zone or something that you cover or certain teams you cover?
Yeah. So every org does it a little differently. We've been doing it regionally. So these past few years living in Arizona, I've had a lot of the California League, which is low A ball. And then I've had a lot of the complex here in Phoenix, which is a lot of rookie ball. So I'm seeing a lot of the younger parts of the player pool. I did have a few AAA groups this year. I was assigned, I want to say, 18 teams, and you spend 6 days with each group, write a report on the roster, and then move on to the next team.
Okay. That's interesting. So during baseball season, I'm assuming you're like ridiculously busy.
Yeah. I mean, on the road a lot, away from home, this time of year, spending probably, anywhere between 100 and 150 nights in a hotel, but, the off season is much more at home doing video work. So it's a nice trade-off where it's from spring training through, especially the trade deadline, is full go. And then it gets a little bit more, time, you get a little bit more time at home in the winter.
Okay. I know like probably in the high school and in the college level more, but even at the pro level with all the social media stuff out there, do you guys, when you see somebody that, hey, we might be interested, does your organization have someone that'll go back and check all the social media and kind of check on them?
That's a good question. I'm actually not sure about that. I would imagine that yes, and I think especially on the amateur side, I would imagine the area guys kind of delve into, pull up the old Twitter machine and see what's been going on.
You would think somebody's there for that. With the amount of money they're throwing at people these days, you would think that.
Yeah.
Sure,
there's a lot of phone calls being made of the guidance counselors and coaches and you name it. So it's always good to do your due diligence, make sure you're getting a good human being.
Yeah, that's
right. I was always curious about this when I played just those few years in the minor leagues, because there was a huge difference between a high school kid coming in fresh at 18 who looked, 90% of them just looked so small and not ready, to be honest. And then you have like some 27-year-old kind of seasoned vet on his team that looks grizzled and ready to go. And like, do you kind of see the younger players, you kind of give them a little bit more leeway and see what they could become, as far as like the 27-year-old guy who's been there forever, just what is he today? And that's what he's going to give me.
Absolutely. Yeah. And especially like physically, like those 17, 18-year-old kids, you kind of have to try and dream a little bit on what are they going to look like in 4 or 5 years from now. Just because they're hitting the ball so far right now, there's a lot of room to get stronger. It's a completely different process. The 27-year-old, 28-year-old they're probably pretty much the finished product. Now, they can absolutely make some adjustments here or there with, how they're throwing certain pitches or a mechanical adjustment in the box. But physically and tools wise, it's probably going to be it is what it is for the most part.
And with that, it definitely feels like, and you would probably know better than us, but it feels like the game, more of those younger kids are taking, I know NIL plays into it, but taking that college route now. And we're starting to see, watching like the World Series right now for college, you're starting to see like better college players. I think just kind of in general, both you and Gary played college ball at Penn State, so you guys kind of saw it firsthand. It feels like now more than then we're seeing more of a shift, a better game at the college level. Do you guys feel that way too?
Yeah, it's just completely, it's like apples and oranges these days. Like, it just kind of depends on what you ultimately want out of your career, and I don't think there's a wrong answer. You watch those college games on TV, and there's some great atmospheres. They're going to places that are really fun to go to school. And I think the NIL is helping that, especially with the bigger colleges. They're able to kind of supplement people financially. And I think that there's more reasons for kids to find college baseball attractive now than there ever has been. But with that being said, if you want to be a professional baseball player and play in the big leagues, getting that development and getting that time in the minor leagues, it only, kind of gets you on track a little bit quicker. But there's a lot of positives on both sides.
Awesome. Okay. All right, enough grilling questions for you here. I've got a real question for you.
Do it.
And I'm gonna bring in medium G here. How many home runs did you hit off him in practice? Because I know it was a couple. I know how many. I know how many he threw right down the middle of the plate. I used to catch him. So
I never threw it to the hitters like that.
I struggled with Gary because Gary had a good curveball, and that's why I didn't play past college.
Look at him right now.
I stuck out too much.
Don't give him that, Rick. Don't give him that. I have to play golf with this guy. Don't get his head too big.
We didn't throw to each other like hardly at all. We didn't do many scrimmages or stuff at Penn State, so there wasn't all that much opportunity. And when we did, it was in Haluba Hall, which is in a contained area. And if you hit the roof, you were out. So
you're out. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Like it was a little bit of a strange setup with the being inside a lot of the time, especially preseason in January. And hitters could not see. It was a white backdrop. Like
brutal. Why would they do that to you guys? Brutal.
The mound would move around when you're pitching on it and stuff. It was crazy. Yep. Rick, that's so funny. Bring me back 2005, Orlando. Getting recruited. What brought you to Penn State? I don't think I ever asked you that. You probably recruited by JB, I would assume, because he was in the Orlando area. Yeah,
I was. So Jason Bell was our pitching coach at Penn State. He had played for my high school coach, and so that was the connection there. And he had seen me play a little bit on the travel ball circuit, and then invited me up for a visit in October of my senior year, and just kind of fell in love with Penn State. Over that 3-4 day trip, did the whole football game experience, and and was just super excited about it. They offered me a few days later, and I was like, you know what, this feels right, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. So, it was honestly a pretty quick process. I had been talking with some schools in Florida at the time, and some schools in the Southeast, and the new facility was being built at Penn State, and it was a new coaching staff at the time. So it just seemed like there was a lot of energy building at the time, and ended up being a great choice.
Oh, yeah, Rick,
it's kind of similar to me. It was me and James were the last two people to sign at the very, very end. And I was just like, man, I want to go to a big school. And Penn State was like, yes, we'll allow you here. And I said, okay, I'm going.
Yes. Did you
get recruited by Robbie or
no? So I was, that 1 year was the shift. So I was recruited by, I wasn't really recruited. My dad recorded a video of me and sent it to Penn State.
It was I was young and I was talking you up that whole video. There was some kid bad mouthing Gary next to me, and I'm a young kid, and I had the video, and you could just hear me. Yeah, he throws 95, no big deal. Watch this curveball.
I totally threw 87 or something in high school.
I did. I did record so long ago. It was VHS tapes. I think.
Yeah, it was.
We did
sending out VHS tapes daily.
We did, and I think the pitching coach then was the guy who went to Western Michigan. I can't remember his name.
Ford was his last name,
and he was the one we were kind of dealing with. They were interested, and he was interested, and then the head coach had asked us. Penn State was going to Miami to play, and asked us if we would come down there. They wanted to meet Gary, and we went down there, and he was. I can't remember that I can't remember that guy's name. The coach.
Hindelang.
Yeah.
We went down to Miami, Rick, and Penn State put on a freaking show, dude.
They did. They were hitting.
They beat Miami. I was like, oh my god.
And Miami was the number one team that year, and apparently one of the guys that hit a homer, we were like, wow, look at him. He killed a ball. And then Gary got to Penn State, goes, that guy had never hit another. It was like his only one he ever hit in his career. We saw it.
And we went down to Miami when we played too, Gary, remember? And they had Yonder Alonso and Jamal.
Yonder Alonso, yeah. We played some good players.
We didn't fare as well.
Those Miami teams
for Penn State, I don't think they went to Penn State.
Yeah, exactly.
Those Miami teams, like early 2000s, they were ridiculous how good those baseball teams were. It was crazy, man.
Well, it's like Ryan Braun probably at that point was probably the name. Yeah. But yeah, I loved watching college baseball in those days, like Florida State and Miami before they're all so good. Not that they aren't now, but that was like watching Sunshine Network growing up in Orlando.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, just just after watching high school baseball and when we went down there, it was just like, oh my God, that is a huge.
Well, we also the high school baseball we were watching was Cocoa Beach, so it was 2A Florida high school baseball. So it was sticker shock a little bit when we saw.
Rick. Did we not?
Did we?
Played against each other my junior year.
Yep.
We were in the same district for at least 2 years. Because I went to Bishop Moore High School.
Bishop Moore. No, okay. Yeah, we definitely played you guys yearly.
Yeah. So I know at least for 2 years while I was there, we were in the same district, and then things always kind of shuffled around. But it was us, you guys, Cocoa, and I want to say Lake Highland, maybe.
Highland
sounds right. Yeah.
MCC might have been part of that. Melbourne Central Catholic. Yeah, man, Florida I remember that. Yeah, man, Florida
we
Air.
To Bishop Moore, and you guys had an actual baseball field.
I know.
I remember I think we had 2 kids got caught for smoking weed in their car before the game and couldn't play or something. We rolled
Cocoa
up
Beach.
so different than you guys were ready to play.
Cocoa Beach. It was that's a place.
That's awesome.
When's the last time you took BP, Rick?
Oh, it's been years. So when I coached college ball for like 10 years before getting scouting, and so I was throwing batting practice every day, and then every once in a while you'd step in and take a few hacks. But I stick to golf these days.
Oh, golf! Hey,
a great
golf
segue.
is fantastic.
Perfect. Let's talk golf.
I'll talk golf all day long. All right. So I don't know if you do listen or not, but we had a guest on last week, and he's never beat me at golf. My God, social media has been on fire with this guy last week, Luke, because he finally beat me. Played the worst round of my life, and I shot an 89. He played the best round I've ever seen in my life from him. He shot an 88, beat me by 1. And my God, it was like he won the Super Bowl. He was telling everybody. There was a text message just 5 minutes later to my family group from him about it. So I'm a little salty about it because I had shot a 79 like 2 days earlier. But how is your golf game?
It's hit or miss. I've been playing. So my routine is early Thursday morning. I like to get out as early as I can, and it allows me to kind of get done and still have a full day of getting my work done. But it's hit or miss. If I'm keeping the driver in play, I can score a little bit, but I have, depending on the day, I'll have some big slice misses with the driver. So
the old baseball swing.
I wish I had the video. I wish I had the video of Gary first starting golf. Oh my God!
I do have it.
His knees were locked. He was standing straight up. He was a pitcher, of course, so it made sense. Knees straight locked, and he was falling backwards, hitting the ball 350. It was the most
straight to the right,
infuriating thing ever. Watching him play golf.
Yeah, it's such a addictive but frustrating game. It's just, but I can't stop playing. Like
So you throw your clubs in the back of the car and try to hit up a course kind of wherever you are. You've probably seen so many more like styles of course and grass and everything that I've really only seen a couple Florida and really out here in Texas. Do you have a favorite like area for types of golf that you like to go to?
I love the Carolinas. Like if you can get over to the Pinehurst area, it's so much fun. And so desert golf out here in Arizona, it's fun, but it's really frustrating at times because it's like target golf. Like you're either in the fairway or your ball's gone. There's no like tree line courses where you can hit the trees, get a good bounce. It's like if you're not in the fairway, you're just not going to get your golf ball. So I think the Carolinas for me has been my favorite. I've been doing a lot of research moving to Philly about what's in and around town there. Yeah. So
there's some great courses in that area.
Yeah,
some great courses.
There is. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, we're not moving until August, so it'll be a short time before it starts getting too cold. But
what a change! August in Arizona to August in Philadelphia. Oh my God, it's like 180 difference.
It was like 116 degrees here the other day when we were playing. I can only imagine how nice.
18. I walked 18 and I looked at myself.
Why did you
in the
do
mirror
that?
Afterwards, Nick. Oh my God, it was a crime scene.
Yeah,
It's a crime scene, huh?
we had a 10 a.m. last Sunday, 10 a.m. tea time, and by the end of it, like my legs were beat red, and it's like, why did we do this?
See, I try to get out this time of year. I try to get out early. It just it doesn't. You end up at like, because courses out here fill up. I'm not sure how it is out there, but everything's on a 7-day here. So you can only book out 7 days, and there are people waking up at 3 a.m. to book at 7 days. So you get like, if you want to play Monday and you're booking on the previous Monday, you're getting 3 o'clock tee times. It's crazy. Gotcha. It's crazy because you got to go super early, man. How is it out there?
It can be like that in the winter because this, it's a pretty big golf destination in the winter, Phoenix, Tucson area. But also the prices are also double in the winter, and it gets expensive. But in the summer, it's pretty wide open. If you go on a week ahead of time, like all the early slots are open. It's cheaper, so it's definitely helps financially to play golf in the summer. But if you don't get out early, it can be
a nightmare.
Yeah, it can be brutal.
Oh man,
your whole day is just ruined afterwards because you're so tired.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So Rick,
I have a kind of. Oh, go ahead, Dad.
I was gonna say our favorite thing when me and Gary do is we out here it's busy, so you get constantly matched with a random every single time, and these poor guys get put with us, and they have no chance. And me and Gary tell them before, hey, look, just play your game, don't worry about. And we hit our ball. We always hit first, and Gary will hit it 300, and then I'll carry his 300 and hit it like 320. And the person playing with us starts swinging out of their shoes. By hole 13, they're so tired.
They get so frustrated by like the sixth hole.
They're cussing at us, yelling at us. It's awesome.
And we're not even good. We can just hit it far.
We're not good. Right? It's hilarious. I can only imagine, because I know Arizona golf is so competitive out there. Here it's more of like corporate golf, but there's like a lot of the pros are living out in Arizona and playing constantly, and it's such a huge following out there. I can only imagine
that's where the waste management is.
It is in Phoenix.
Yeah, it's at the TPC Scottsdale.
Have you had a chance to see that? That's like a bucket list golf destination.
I played the course last summer. I haven't been to the tournament.
Oh, nice.
And it's public. You can get on anytime. But yeah, there's a lot of places. There's a ton of pros out here. There's a ton of like in Phoenix alone. There's so many golf courses, so many clubs to go play at. There's a lot of resort golf. So it's a great golf area, especially in the winter.
You hear that, boys? Sounds like a trip.
Oh, God.
Sounds like a trip.
Not me. I'm afraid, Rick, I'm not a golfer. So
he's great at it, Rick. Don't let him.
I'm a cart guy. I sit in the cart and drive him around. Nothing.
He sits in a cart and makes fun of everybody for a few hours.
I will say, the best swing I've ever seen him take, he had a joke ball, one of the ones that explode, and he tricked us. He teed it up. And he made it look like he hit the ball a mile. The best swing, he knew it was fake, so it was the best swing I've ever seen him make.
And I have that on video.
You do have that on video.
Okay. Say you were to gear up, get put on the starting line, you have to run a 40-yard dash right now.
Oh, no.
What could you run it in?
A 40?
A 40.
I'm probably not making it to the finish line because my hamstring's probably exploding.
Yeah, you'll fall
I was never the most fluid athlete to begin with. Like I was kind of a high effort kind of player, but I would say easily mid to upper fives.
Yes, a realistic person on this podcast.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you so much. And a 5'8". 5'8". A 5'8".
He said he could run it in 5'8", and then we showed him how far 40 yards was, and now we backed it up to 8 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I'm not the most of the quick twitches has left the body.
Well, Rick, what they did, they were trying to do challenges with me, and it's been a long time since I've actually seen 40 yards. And so I was like, I don't know, 40 yards, fast guys running at 4. I don't know. I'm like probably around 5'8", 6 or something. And they were making fun of me.
Dying laughing.
and then not too long after we went out, and I went and re-looked at 40 yards. I was like, oh, shit. I don't know that. Number one, I don't know that I can make it to 40 yards without walking. I'll probably be walking, do a fast walk or something. I don't know.
We turned it into maybe a trot for 40 yards.
You can still get the 8 seconds on a nice stiff jog. Forget it.
The last time I tried to sprint, I was playing in a softball game and was like going hard around first base, and my calf just like exploded.
Oh, God.
I'm just not going to go full speed anymore.
Nah, no need. You don't
Funny how
need.
that happens.
When do you run? You don't have to run anymore. There's no need for it.
Nope.
Right.
It's funny. It's one
But
of
you
our.
still feel like you can. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I could do it right now if I needed to, but I know I couldn't.
Not Gary. We couldn't do it. It's funny because
in my mind tells me I can.
Yeah, well, my mind does too, and I'm 20-some years older than you. So.
our brother Beeve keeps trying to get us to do like group sports stuff, and it's like, let's go play tackle football. It's like, you're 41, man. We're not playing tackle football.
Those days are over.
That's why golf's perfect, man. You just can do it forever.
Yeah,
Golf. I love it. All right, awesome. Here's the last thing I want to put to Rick and Gary here is it's about college football, and I was reading the FPI from ESPN, which is notoriously pretty off. But Penn State's top 10 FPI, boys.
Yeah, they are for the past 5 years straight.
How you feeling about the team this year? Do you have to make the playoffs to keep Franklin around?
Well, I think that's a complicated question because he does have a long-term contract. But yeah, I think if you're Penn State, it's like playoffs or bust for the most part. But I'm pretty confident. I think the quarterback, if you look at like stats from previous years, like as a first-year starter last year, he was actually pretty good. His numbers wise, he didn't turn over the ball. So like if he can make just a gradual jump, I think the defense is going to still be pretty solid. So I'm excited. I that was my one purchase. I did decide to get Penn State season tickets now that we're living close by.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yes.
Really
That's
cool.
so cool.
Trip
Hell
up,
yeah.
Trip up to Happy Valley.
Yes, I heard it. You said it. I heard it.
Hey, we can always do a remote podcast. So
How did you get that? I thought they were like super hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, you have to put your name in the fall, and I'm way up there, but yeah, and it's kind of a lottery system, and if you've had them previously, you kind of keep working your way up. So
That's so cool, man.
do they do that?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Do they do that like how Texas does is you have to make a donation to the school to get on the list. So and they're asking for huge donations to get on the list. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's all they'll give you a number and then they'll kind of break it up. Like this is for the tickets and this is the donation to the school. So yeah, there's definitely part of that going
crazy.
on. And then, this is always asking for NIL money these days too.
Yeah. Yes.
Dude, they send me emails. I'm like, I don't have anything to give you guys.
Yeah. What I can give you guys is not going to help.
Yeah, why are you asking me?
See, we can ask those fun football questions as Texas fans because we're finally considered a top 5 team again. It's been 13 years, but my God, I would not have asked these. Hey, you're FPI if it was 10 years ago.
Say Texas is back, Nick. Is it okay to say that?
I don't think you could ever. I don't like the whole Texas is back thing. Like, how would you guys feel if it was Penn State is back?
I would love it.
No, because the whole thing is the whole we're back thing. No, teams ebb and flow. Every team does it. It's gonna happen. Besides,
that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part about college fan bases, right? Is like how many 10-win seasons has Franklin had? Like almost every year, but nobody's happy, right? So it's just like if you really look at it, like he's winning a lot of football games, but the expectations are just so high that it's hard to say they're back.
And in the past system, he had 2 shots. He had to be Michigan and Ohio State.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, that was really it. If you lose those games, your season's a wash to the fans. And if you win both, it's amazing. But now with the playoff era, we can kind of get some relief and not have to face both sometimes. And it's okay if we lose 1 or maybe even 2. So really, to me, it's playoffs or an absolute travesty of a season.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with top 12, like, if you can just get it, you never know. That's the beautiful thing about the playoffs. You never know. You get into that tournament. Who knows what happens then?
Who knows? Yep, it's got to get in.
Are they not going to have to play Ohio State every year?
Not every year.
Oh, they didn't get that natural rival. They didn't get that natural rival that they were doing with everybody, did they? That's crazy.
Well, no, Penn State traditionally doesn't have a rival in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Pitt, I guess that's the big one. Yeah. That's crazy. Because like Texas got, well, I mean, we're going to get A&M, Oklahoma, and Arkansas probably every year. And those are all like larger names. And then the rotating like, cast of Georgia, Alabama. I was like really looking forward to that SEC move. And now that it's happened, I'm like, okay, all right. It's a lot of good teams.
Schedule. But they have to play Texas. You got to look at the other way around too. I mean, you're looking at it that way, but I mean, Texas is a strong team, so they got to come in and play Texas too.
I'm Texas for the past 13 years besides this one, so it's a little bit scary.
That's true. That's true.
All right. Well, any other questions, guys, for Rick?
No, Rick, I
just a quick
appreciate
one
you
to
coming
end it
on. Yeah.
How do you feel, Rick, about hot dogs that specifically?
Oh
have been
my God.
I'd say that again.
How do you feel about microwave hot dogs? Do you enjoy them?
Microwave hot dog. I don't know. I think I'm out on that, honestly.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah,
Okay,
me too.
It's going to have to be grilled for me to have a hot dog.
perfect. That's all we needed you
Bunk,
to say.
hang
Just
on. Well-
confirming you're a normal person. Okay.
Bunk, what's your thoughts on microwave?
I tell you what, I love them like you got to microwave them with some cheese on it, and throws 2 pickles on the side, and man, you know what? That is a meal in a minute and 45, friends.
What kind of hot dog are we talking about here? What's the brand?
You know,
You were a Nathan's guy
I'm
for
a
a long
I'm
time.
still a Nathan's guy. You know, I think
Okay.
they got a little better taste, but they
Fair
make
enough.
fun of me because that's my. I'm telling you though, 1 minute and 45 seconds.
It's the
and it's
And
done.
some pepper jack on top.
And some pepper
Oh,
jack.
no, it's white American these
No, I
days.
love pepper
Oh, it's
jack.
white
Oh,
American.
pepper jack! You really
Every once in a
gotta
while.
get a little spice
This has
kick
been
in
my
there.
dad's meal of choice since
I love
we
it.
were
Love it.
kids.
Been eating it for years, and that's going to help me with that 40. I think get me right down into the
Hey,
sixes.
I'll tell you what.
Definitely.
Those hot dogs, those microwave hot dogs, got us through all of our sporting events. So
I bet.
It's a
I'll
tradition.
take your word for it.
Yeah.
well, Rick, any questions for us?
No, this was fun. I appreciate you guys having me on, and yeah, I'd love to do it again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and maybe closer to football season, we could talk a little bit more NCAA
Yeah.
football coming up for sure. Once things kind of
Absolutely.
slow down for you a little bit, because I know it's a busy time. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, it was awesome. We'll definitely have you back if you want to come back whenever. Just let us know.
Definitely awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you
Rick.
so much,
Appreciate
Rick.
it.
Catching up, man.
Okay.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Really cool. Well, that was Rick Marlin, a MLB talent scout. Awesome to have him join us today.
That was great.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And hopefully we get some more guests on here like that, because I think it's so much information. And Medium G, thank you for facilitating that one for us.
You know what was interesting? It was interesting is that I was curious, and I think Gary, you asked a question about like what do you look at, but I thought it was really interesting is that like his role is really kind of just to kind of use his baseball knowledge and look at guys and go, I think this guy might be it. He's not, and I'm assuming at that point he'll identify somebody and then somebody will come in and do all those friggin' stupid, all those stupid analytics that they're probably not all stupid, but it's kind of nice to know that there are guys that are just eyeballing you and not everything.
It makes me feel like when you're watching the game on TV, that is not actual baseball.
Yes.
The discussions on the field are not what's your spin rate. It's not what's your launch angle, which I was afraid that it was leaking into. It wouldn't be the number one discussion, but it was sort of becoming a part of it. And after talking with Rick, I don't think that's the case at all for people on the inside.
No, which is that, and that I'm with you. It is awesome because every week there's a new friggin' like thing, right? And you wonder if they were doing all those things 5-10 years back, how many of those guys that are in the majors that are just crushing it now, maybe not even have made it if that's all they were looking at.
Yeah.
Right? Because those guys are sitting in the stands, heads down. They're not even watching the friggin' game half the time. They're looking at Jug's gun, or looking at all these other electronical things.
Electronical things.
Electronical things.
That's not a thing.
Is that not a word?
Electronical?
Son of a bitch.
Yowzers.
All right.
Thank you for not doing that when we had our esteemed
No, I was
guest.
I was very professional, but it was really cool to have him on and just kind of hear what he does. But man, what I give him a lot of credit, man. Obviously I'm a lot older, but I don't even think when I was his age and y'all's age, I could do the 150 on the road. Holy
That's
shit.
crazy. Yeah, 150 nights on not home is a lot.
That's a tough job.
It's a tough job. And we forgot to bring up, it would have been really interesting to hear his perspective on his university coaching experience. Maybe next time we get him on, we can kind of talk about that a little more. But I will say, just being in baseball on the inside, you just become it. It's not even like it's just your job. You just do it, It's not like it becomes like a big stressor. It's just he knows he's got to go over there. And I bet deep down, Rick loves it. I bet he loves going out on the road, playing his golf and watching some baseball and then complaining about it later, probably.
No, absolutely. But I just, it's like crazy. It's crazy. It was cool. Yeah. Well, thanks for getting him on for us. And, I will tell you, he's definitely welcome back since he's a Yankee fan.
Oof.
He
is no fan.
You guys tried to You guys tried to get an ally. Yes, he is.
He's no fan of any team.
That's bullshit. You tried to ally him. He crushed your friggin' faces.
We're always looking for allies.
He dirted you up on that one, friends.
He dirted us up. We got dirted. God.
It was awesome to watch. I just kept my mouth shut and just listened. Beautiful thing.
Well, we never addressed the past weekend, so the Yankees go out west for the first time, right?
They played in New York. They were playing in New York.
Oh, they did.
So the first game was extra innings. They got beat. Then they got blown out, and then they won last night. So not bad.
So not so bad.
Not bad. And I'll tell you, Ohtani actually didn't do anything in the series.
Not much in the series. He's kind of slowed. Well, for Ohtani, he's still hitting 310, but he's Ohtani slowed down, which is like just an average player having the best part of their year. So,
and they're good. I think they're both. Obviously I'm a Yankee fan, but I think both teams are going to be definitely go far in the playoffs this year. They're both pretty strong teams. So.
I think that's if you were to put your money on any teams right now, that's the two with Acuna getting that injury and being gone. Your money is on those two teams being the World Series.
Yeah.
I don't think you put your money on anybody else.
Well, my money's on the Yankees, and we'll move on.
No, I'm saying they make the World. I said they make the World Series.
Hello.
My God, man,
you're messed up, man. What do you think, Medium G? Who's your team?
You don't want to call him B-Clap?
No, hate
I
that.
still don't have a team. It's kind of nice not having a team and sort of seeing it. Just I've never really been into the team. I guess after I went to college, I kind of stopped caring about the teams. It became more about just the players, and then they move around so much that what isn't an actual team is just a brand on their jersey.
Right.
Wow, that hurts. That's very hurtful.
Is it hurtful?
God, that's brutal. I'm gonna have to get him some books on the history of the Yankees.
I did like the Red Sox for a long time.
Oh,
yikes! All right.
God.
Well, this meeting's about to end.
We have beat Pedroia down to a pulp here on this podcast on how much you hate him. How do you feel about Big Papi though?
Big who? Hang on. Big who?
Big
Puppy?
Big Papi.
Puppy?
Big Papi.
Puppy?
Big Papi.
I'm not sure how I feel about him. He's
Good.
a fun. He's kind of a fun-loving guy, he doesn't take himself too serious. So I'm okay with him actually.
He was a Yankee killer though.
He was a Yankee killer, but I like him because when he was playing, he honestly looked like he was having fun.
He thought Pedroia's first name was Petey. He never knew it was Dustin.
No, he didn't even know his name.
There was a reporter. Reporter said, "Hey, Dustin, I got a question for you." And he goes, "Who's Big Papi?" Goes, "Who the hell's Dustin?"
He didn't
Pedroia goes, "That's me."
Didn't care. Papi didn't care, baby.
That's my name.
Plus, he got shot like 12 times and still survived. So he's my man. He's a good dude.
He's funny with A-Rod too.
He was a good guy, good player, really good for Boston, really good for baseball. Overall.
I think he was.
He was good, very good. And when it's him and Manny Ramirez back to back in the lineup, that's like how do you pitch to that? Those guys were notorious for hitting a ball a foot outside over the wall. So how do you pitch to those guys? Man?
Didn't mind him. I don't know what Pedroia does to me. I don't know. I can't even tell you. He's probably the nicest guy in the world.
What about Pedro Martinez, my all-time favorite pitcher?
Nah, I wouldn't. You know what? He was okay. I don't like to hate him or anything, but
the Don Zimmer thing, the Don Zimmer thing. I didn't like him. You know where I think? He was in the studio on one of the shows there. He may still be on baseball. And so I think after watching him in the studio, I think I liked him better than I did when he was playing because he again seems like he's just kind of having fun. He doesn't seem like as much of a jerk. No, they're all. I mean, retired baseball players are just 12-year-olds with millions of dollars.
Yeah,
so they just have fun. They just constantly have fun, which is
Yeah.
cool. It's fun to watch, like A-Rod and Big Papi, David Ortiz, mess with each other on that on their show or whatever, like the pregame and stuff. It's really fun
Dude,
to watch, and they get
nobody likes
Jeter on
it.
there. And
What do you think, Medium G? What do you think about A-Rod? You an A-Rod guy?
I think A-Rod is one of the most incredibly talented players that has ever played baseball, but I don't like him. I never liked.
Yeah,
how
he's-
he kind of.
it just seems fake. It's just
Wasn't
not a
for me,
genuine
but
person.
It's not fake when he's hitting 53 bombs.
No, not at
You
all.
know,
I'll
it's like,
take that every day.
Yeah, I
you
don't
can't
know.
deny he was amazing.
He
You
was.
just can't deny it.
But he wasn't the most, and I don't think he still is the most likable guy in the world. But
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. There's just something about him.
You don't have to like him when it's 50 bombs, 100 RBIs every year. You
Yeah.
don't have to like him.
Well, he ain't going. He's not going to be in the hall because he juiced. So he done.
I don't
Unfortunately,
like him on the broadcast as a commenter either. I don't think he's very good at that, but he's somehow found his way on a lot of them, and you just kind of have to suffer through it a little bit. I would prefer he just went on to something else.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think he's that good on there. All right.
Hey, speaking of, and this is kind of a different sport in general, but speaking of commentators on sports, how do you guys think Saban's going to do on
God.
college football, the mornings, on ESPN college football mornings, game day?
Game day. Yeah, I think he's going to be pretty boring to watch, but he's going to have great takes. It's going to be kind of a wash. He'll be a character on there that's just like the grumpy character.
Yeah, he's got to deal with McAfee, and McAfee's the new Lee Corso. So
All right, McAfee. Hey, that guy's ridiculous, man.
McAfee's starting to
I love him.
rub me the wrong way.
I love
Yeah,
Pat
He
McAfee.
gets
I
to me
love
a
it.
little.
I
love
think,
it.
I think he's honestly. I think his act has gone a little too far. I mean, he was kind of. I don't know. I'm not a fan, to be honest with you. I think he just overdoes everything, and he's loud and obnoxious. He needs to be on the whatnot and yell.
Oh, the whatnot guys, the card breakers.
He ought to be a card breaker on whatnot. He'd make probably more money.
He'll open a $10 card. Let's go, bangers!
Yeah, I'm definitely not a fan.
I like McAfee. I like him.
I like his show. His show is good. I don't really like the guys he has around him. I don't like AJ Hawk. The guy, just the way he stares in the camera.
You don't
And
like
again,
him
it's not
because-
that I don't like these guys. I just don't like them on camera.
Yeah.
watching them.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't mind him.
What other sport you got?
Hey, I want to ask.
Oh,
I want to ask
Go.
Medium G.
Wait, what?
hey.
I want to ask Medium G what his thoughts of the U.S. national team soccer team this past weekend.
That's funny you asked that because I was out somewhere, I think, when they were playing, and I wasn't following it, but people were talking about it, and then I saw the score,
It was
and I
rough.
was like, "Whoa,
Yeah, dude.
whoa!"
Yeah,
They got demolished, and I saw it was the worst blowout since like 2007 or something.
yeah. They were. I mean, you're looking at the U.S. roster is in and out of the top 15 in the world. I think they were closer to the top 10 in the world before this game from world rankings. Colombia's not. And that was hard to watch.
And you know what? Here's the sad thing. Gary, I watched the game. I'm not even a soccer
Whoa.
watcher. I actually watched it. It was the second half. And I was watching, they poured in like 3 or 4 goals, like almost like boom.
It was
boom,
bad,
boom. I was
man.
like, holy crap. You never see that.
The U.S. defense looked like Swiss cheese. It was so bad. And the goalie, I mean, you can't put everything on the goalie. That's a big area to cover for one human being. But he missed a couple probably saves. They give him like match ratings afterwards. That poor guy, they gave him a 2 out of 10.
It was ugly. That wasn't, I mean,
It wasn't. It's the
CONCACAF, right? The Gold Cup.
No, this is for Copa America. So we're going to be the Team USA, Mexico, and Canada are all playing this summer in what's called Copa America, which is South America's version of Gold Cup, right? Outside of the World Cup, it's probably the second biggest tournament in the world behind the Euros in Europe. So all those European teams right now this summer are going to do the Euros. And then here in South America, they have Copa America, which US, Mexico, and Canada got invited to. So they'll be part of it, and it's actually hosted here in the U.S. So there's a couple games going on here at Q2 at Austin Stadium. I don't think the U.S. will be playing in any of those games, but they're playing games here. The problem is that's a lower-end South American team that just beat them 5-1, and U.S. got to figure it out to play. They're about to play another friendly against Brazil, the number 3 team in the world, on Wednesday. They better figure their shit out before this tournament. It's going to be really bad because they're like the aspiration is them going pretty far in the tournament.
So this was like a
These
like a warm up game
yeah,
for the tournament.
these are the warm up
It has-
games
it has
before
no,
the tournament.
like ramifications at all that they lost.
It'll have ramifications on their world ranking, but not on the tournament at all. And U.S., Canada, and Mexico do not have to qualify for the World Cup this coming year because they're the or in 26 because they're the host nations. So they're already locked for the World Cup. Problem is, I mean, the U.S. is supposed to be the golden generation with the best players to ever come from the U.S., the best team dynamic, and they got eviscerated this past weekend. So it's a little bit concerning coming up, but Mexico got beat 4-0. Canada got beat 4-0 in U.S. Like, it was eye-opening for all the CONCACAF North American teams for sure.
CONCACAF.
I did see on a really wildly different subject that the United States beat Pakistan in cricket. Which was like an earth-shatteringly big deal.
Yeah.
Have you ever
I don't know what the extras are.
Have you ever watched cricket?
Yeah, I have. I don't. There's actually where I would ride my bike here in Austin. It's on this big bike trail. There's this big cricket field, and every time I go ride the bike, there's always like 2 full teams playing, and I stop and watch them. I have no idea what's going on, but they are super into it. And it looks very fun.
Yeah, I watched. There's some of these guys here play close in the park here, and I watched them. I got to be honest, I have no freaking idea. They run back and forth between, I don't know, home plate and pitcher's mound or whatever. I don't know what they're called. I have no earthly idea what's going on. Zero. It's cool though. It's actually cool.
Very fun. Yeah,
it does, and I bet it would be really hard to do. Are they called pitches? What do they do when they throw?
The bowler.
It would be really hard to
bend your elbow.
I know.
And
it seems like crazy.
But they get all that torque, and then they throw it at the person that's hitting. I saw this video of the guy. He was the hardest to ever throw it doing that, and he hit some guy in the leg and broke the dude's leg.
Holy shit!
With the bowling ball.
It looks cool.
I don't know. See, I know the rules to probably every sport under the sun besides that one. I could not tell you how to play that game at all. I have no clue.
I like it.
It can go on for days.
We should. You know what we could do? We could go out and do a remote podcast watching a game with, and explain.
That would be
explain
hilarious.
What we think is going on.
That would be so funny. That would be so
It
funny.
Would be freaking.
Try to do on the field interviews.
We would do
Put
it on the board. Put it on the board. Put it on the calendar.
How fun would that be?
That would
3
be
people that know literally nothing about what's happening or why anything's happening, and that would be kind of fun.
That'd be hilarious. Oh man, that would be good. Yeah, it was like that was like a devastating loss for Pakistan and like the biggest win U.S. has ever had. I don't even know what the tournament they're in is, but it's supposed to be this huge thing.
I was surprised to see that the United States was like 13th or 10th in the world.
Wow.
Which is surprising in itself. And Pakistan, I think, was number 3. And I think that the world just does not want the U.S. to be good, so they're going to try to beat them at any cost. And the fact they couldn't, that was a pretty cool story.
That is neat.
Yeah, it is a very cool story.
Well, good job, Medium G.
Good for that sport, bad for soccer. All right, let's see how this plays out. A recap of Women's College World Series. We didn't recap that yet. Texas lost to Oklahoma again.
Yep, got spanked.
Got absolutely spanked. That was rough to watch. What was and Medium G brought this up, but Bunk, what the hell happened? What was the base running error? What happened?
I don't know. I don't know what she was doing, the girl there. She went around first.
And just stopped.
But then she turned like she was going the second, but the ball was right in front of her. And I don't know. I don't know what she was doing.
I think what was happening, so she gets a single, scores 1, moves the lead runner to third with 2 outs. And there is a play in baseball where you get in a pickle in between first and second so that the person on third can score.
Yeah. So
what I think she was probably trying to do that at first, realized it's not a good idea. She didn't realize that the first baseman was so close, and it just cooked a little pitch throw and got her real fast. So she just kind of miscalculated where the player was in relation to first base.
You're right. I was thinking that too. I was thinking maybe she thought I'll get in a rundown and try and score that other, but
it wouldn't really make sense there anyways, you know? No. With the first and third, you could steal. You could do all sorts of stuff in a first and third with 2 outs.
Well,
that team, though, is very young. The Texas team was very young. The Oklahoma team was a little bit older. So Texas is going to return a lot of that. Now they're going into the toughest softball conference in the nation in the SEC. So we'll see how it ends, I guess,
good,
for
though.
them.
Texas is a good
Texas
team.
is very good.
Oklahoma's always good too. But
I mean, they're like 4 in a row.
4 in a
That's
row.
crazy.
They're brutal.
Do you imagine
Four national championships,
4 in a row.
So the players went to
the
Oklahoma
freshman,
and won every single
the
year.
freshman class 4 years ago won every single
Isn't that
year.
crazy? I mean, that's not
It's
bad.
almost impossible.
I know they just dominate, man. They just friggin' hit. They're crazy.
They hit the shit out of the ball.
They did hit the ball hard.
And they're animated about it.
Yeah, a little cocky.
Well, it was a big rivalry on top of the national championship.
It is,
there's
yeah.
a lot to
Very,
play
very
for.
cool. I think
Have
there's
you guys
a lot.
been watching the NBA finals at all?
I watched last night. Man, Drew Holiday, where the hell did that guy come from last night? Out of nowhere, just tore apart the Mavs. Luka is getting doubled and tripled, and Kyrie's missing his shots. Man, that's a recipe for a sweep right there. So there's
And
just
they got
not
Porzingis back, who's making a
Kristaps,
dent in Dallas.
Yeah.
yes. So it's gonna be interesting. I think if Kyrie doesn't start hitting shots, it's a sweep. Nobody else scores on that team.
No, I haven't watched it, but the Yankees were on. Couldn't switch off the Yankee game, baby.
All right.
They've been okay games. I think the games in the finals haven't been as entertaining as some of the semifinals and lead-up games. I mean, for me, it usually never is in the finals as exciting. But yeah, I hope that they can kind of crawl back into it because a 4-1 or a 4-0 just wouldn't be fun.
No, and I think Dallas has. I mean, the home field advantage now, or home court advantage now. They're coming back. I think they have the recipe to win. It's just going to be that Celtics team is so complete. And with Porzingis back and they have that big man in the middle that can hit shots, that's going to be hard to beat.
I agree. I'm agreeing with you on that, man. Son of a gun. You sons of a guns. Some guns.
Oh, boy.
Some beaches.
Okay.
I'm agreeing with you.
Some beaches.
Some beaches.
Some beaches.
He loves the movie Beaches.
Some beaches.
Oh my God, he's going to the beaches at Sandals, the resort.
And Garrett, I'm gonna thank you for asking Rick if he can run the 40. That was awesome.
Yeah.
He's honest.
That was the most sensible answer yet of a, what do you say, like a 5'8"?
Yes,
I believe it.
He goes high, mid to high fives if my hamstrings don't blow up.
I like it. I did like it.
What we didn't ask is, does 80-pound bags of mulch lifted with your legs equate to 175-pound bench press?
I always do. You're gonna see. The running one, I'm gonna be struggling with. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, it's a brisk walk now. We've downgraded it. Let's not call it a run.
Oh my God! So Mrs. Bunk reminded me last week. She goes, "Yeah, we ought to do that thing where you can do the couch to 5K or something."
Oh, couch
program.
to 5K.
And then she said, "If you do that, then you can run that 40." And I was like, "Okay, well,
you just have to run a 5K." And then
wait a second. Hang on. So you're saying you're upset because your wife's being supportive?
No, I wasn't upset because she was supportive. I was just saying I don't need to train for a 5K to run 40 yards.
Sounds like a hey, sprinters run long distance.
Okay, let's be honest. I don't want to run, period. 0 running activities. I'm not excited about
brisk walk.
I didn't like running when I was young. I certainly don't run it now. Shit.
I went and worked out at a boxing gym last Wednesday. And it was my first day there, so I just jumped in with the group just to see what they would do, to see if I would like to keep working out with them. And their warm up, this is at 5:00 in the middle of the day. It was 99 probably. And their warm up was to run a mile, and then you had to do jump rope for 10 minutes, and then you got into the actual stretching. And I almost left. I almost just at the jump rope poured about 3 minutes in. I said, "I don't
start throwing up." Gary's throwing up. This is just the warm-up run.
Kids and me.
It's the warm-up run.
You guys are getting older. You're not young chickens anymore.
We're well aware. We're well aware. It took me 4 days to recover from the 18 holes we walked that one time, Gary. Like bastards. 4 days stuck in my bed.
Old bastards.
Your ass walk 18 holes.
Bastards.
Yeah, you're walking next
There was
time.
a high school kid running, and he was yelling at me. He was like, "I didn't say stop." I was like, "I don't give a shit what you said."
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he was yelling at me.
Oh my God.
I'm too old to move. I'm like, no.
Listen here, kid. I got 2 questions for you. Number 1, how dare you? Number 2, who do you think you are?
Holy crap.
Kid's older than you, motherfucker. Get out of here.
Yeah,
My daughter graduated radiology school.
tell you what, I would have had an issue with that young lad. Just some fisticuffing. All right, what else you got, Pick?
Sports-wise, that's about it. That's about it.
Anything? I was excited to have Rick on. That was
Yeah,
pretty
absolutely.
awesome, man. That's like a little look behind the curtain, as we call it.
Yeah, very cool. Very informative,
It'd be
too.
fun to check back in the fall with him and ask him maybe kind of how the season went or
Yeah.
some follow-up stuff if he wanted to join us from time to time.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be up. And especially he's going to move from. Well, I mean, he obviously went to Penn State, so he knows the weather. But Arizona to Philadelphia is quite a move.
I'm just saying, we might be having a remote podcast in Happy Valley at some point soon.
Oh my God, that would be. Oh my Lord.
I think he's the
tailgate.
second friend I know of that has season tickets, and it's in here. It's in the vault. I'll never forget it.
I know.
Yeah, those people are-
That's awesome.
All right. Anything else, Bunk? What else you got?
I don't think I have anything else this week. I think we went through the sports, golf, talked about, don't like it. Soccer, don't care for it.
Soccer. Hang on. Hey.
Wait, we already talked soccer.
Hang on. But Austin FC,
Okay.
your guy, Rigatoni,
Rigatoni!
he's gone.
They got rid of him?
DFA'd.
What do you mean?
He gone. He's not on the team anymore.
I thought he was their star.
They just picked up. No, Driussi is the star.
Oh.
But they just picked up Osman Bukhari. He's
Oh
going
my
to start on
God.
the outside for
You're
them.
kidding. They DFA'd my boy?
Yeah, well, they were paying him almost $6 million a year for 1 goal a year.
Does he still get a $6 million?
Oh, it was a buyout. He got more than his
He
6.
got
He got
a
the rest of
rigatoni,
his.
baby.
He got the rest of his rigatoni contract and got the hell out of
He's
Austin.
buying some rigatoni. He don't give a shit right now.
No,
Nick, when they get DFA'd, where do they go in soccer?
they're gone. It's not. So it's not like
there is no assignment. It's just released.
Yeah, it's a release. So it's a release, but if there's guarantee on the contract, which most of them are, it's a complete buyout immediately. So they'll write him a check, and he's gone. But how it works in the MLS is if 3 spots on your team can be a designated player, which is you can use it from international pool. So the rest of them have to have like American citizenship on your team. So that's kind of a hurdle that a lot of these teams have to go through. So what happens is they'll sponsor these players to get the citizenship so they don't take up one of those 3 designated spots. And that's what happened in Miami, where they got all those big names because some of them become American citizens. So they can use their 3. So on those 3 designated player spots, you can pay them $1 million to $50 million a year, anything. But then there's a cap for the rest of your roster besides those 3. So he was taking up one of those 3 spots, which is obviously is a big deal. That's a big spot and he wasn't producing. So they kind of just,
Wow.
they got rid of him and bringing in another guy. I think he played in the Serbian league last year. We'll see how he goes, but
what the hell?
what the hell? Okay. All right. Thanks for bringing us down there, Bunk.
What? I'm just saying.
Look at Medium B Clot's face over there.
What?
Medium Clot. Oh, gross.
Oh, that's grotesque.
That's the worst.
Medium Clot.
Oh, yeah.
So that's I just wanted to update you on that. Your Rigatoni's gone. He's not on the team
That
anymore.
pisses me off. I was going to watch him again, too.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, okay. I believe it.
Quick question about the Olympics. Does anybody know when is the actual starting opening ceremonies in July?
July.
Yep.
Towards the end of July.
And they're in France or Paris, right?
Paris, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have about a month.
Yep, about a month for that. And then that's the same time, if you do follow soccer, that's the same time Copa America. So the U.S. is going to have 2 international teams. The U23 is going to be playing in the Olympics, and then the senior team, like the actual U.S. national team, first team, will be playing in the Copa America.
Wow. Hey, Medium G, did you ever wonder sometimes that Pick has way too much information? Holy
He's got
shit.
a lot of time on his hands, I think.
There's
I
something
don't have a
going
lot
on.
of time on my hands. I just hear
You
things.
got a lot of information on specifics of things.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, we
Just keep driving that needle forward here.
He does his own research.
he's got
I didn't do research. I just know these things. They're just in there.
You got a lot of info. I'm going to tell you. I don't know if it's a compliment or not. But.
I am the I am the bunk and pick. Was it stats and analytics guy? So, I'm the stats and analytics guy.
Yeah, you
That's
go.
the color guy. Bunk's the color.
Oh, he's something.
Yeah, I like having a little bit of information about a lot of stuff. I don't like to delve too far in.
I have a lot of information about a lot of sports stuff.
you really do. Holy shit!
Hopefully, I didn't bore everybody.
I was just letting you know. You're coping up, man. Coping. You're the Copa guy.
All right, the cup.
Whatever.
I have one thing to say before I sign off. One little. It's a threat, is what it is.
Oh,
It's directed straight at the suburban bourbon burn himself. The audacity of this man to go out. He takes down one Amato on the links, and then he goes in an Amato group chat that he starts and talks crap about him. No, sir. No. You must come face the big dog next before you can bring it.
Hold on. No,
like that.
Stop there.
He beat you. He beat you.
Beat me. How many times have I beat you? Don't you call yourself the big dog?
Whoa.
Oh, we can't do that.
Don't you?
Don't do that.
You are.
Holy shit.
I take offense to you calling yourself the big dog. Medium
I'm the only
G.
one that's left that he hasn't
Medium
beat. You got
dog.
beat by
Oh,
somebody who
man.
drives at 140 yards.
You know what? We laughed about it because he takes one video every time we play of him out driving me once. And I said, you know what? Next time I'm going to take 17 videos of me out driving you, and you can have
A
your
whole
one.
live stream.
Yes.
I'll go out. You know what? If you guys go again, I'll go if he makes some more of those drinks because those were some and he put those in his Instagram. Those ones he made.
Yeah, they
With
were
So
delicious.
that's the ones I saw on. They did look good.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
He does
they
an
were
amazing
freaking
job.
awesome.
He does an
I'll,
amazing-
And that
I'll
was with
drink.
the Garrison brothers. I thought,
Hey,
you're gonna have
Garrett,
to make a believer out of me.
I had it.
because my mouth still remembers
Me
that
too.
Garrison brothers.
I'll tell you
incident.
what, it was delicious. I was pissed that
Well,
it was so
wasn't-
good.
It wasn't shots, is why.
Yes, exactly.
I think so. I didn't. Just for the record, I didn't try it again.
I tried to get Bunk to try it.
I'm gun shy. It scared me. I don't want to take it.
Yeah, that day lives on in infamy for me.
Oh man, that stuff is rough. But they both liked it. So hey, who knew?
All right, shots fired to Luke at Suburban Bourbon Burn. We will have to call it the match. We'll get this all sorted out for you, and maybe we'll put some stakes on it, something on it. So we'll figure that out. But hey, Medium G, thank you so much for joining us again. Our rotating regular right there, Medium G right here. So
He's a rotator. He rotates on it.
Rotating.
He's a
Thanks
rotator.
for having me on again.
Rotator
I wanna especially
cup
say
regular.
Thanks to Rick. Haven't talked to Rick in a long time. Really appreciate him coming on. It was really great to catch up with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much, Rick, and we hope to talk to you again. We had a great time with it. Medium G, thank you so much as well. Bunk, any parting words for the people?
No, but I know she didn't thank me. I'd like to be thanked.
All right, hey Bunk, thank you so much for just being you.
Thank you. Good night, mate.
Okay.
I like it.
Thank you so much
Gubby.
for your really bad
Thanks,
accents.
Gubby.
Thank you for letting me smile every
Hello,
Monday.
Gubba.
Thanks for being you.
Hey, you ass, you.
Hey, fuck the Yankees. All right, let's get out of here, huh?
All right, take us home. Take us home,
All
Pick.
right, everyone. Thank you so much. If you're enjoying it, please go ahead and smash that like button. Leave a reply for us. Check us out on social media, Bunk Pick Podcast, on the Instagram as well as Facebook. If you have any questions for us, Bunk and Pick Podcast at gmail.com. Go ahead and send that in, and we will get that asked for you on the podcast, I guess is how I would say
You
that.
said asked, by the way.
Asked.
Okay.
Asked.
Just checking.
We will get it asked, not asked, like Bunk's favorite thing. But we can't leave until we tell everybody to start going Rollin Balls. Thanks, everybody.
See you guys next time.